So just to introduce ourselves, so Doug Vincent, just to repeat for those who joined early, I'm the founder and chief executive of Mastt. We're a classic SaaS AI product for the construction industry. Big AI enthusiast, spend half my time between the States and Australia, but we have customers around the world who use our product every day to deliver the future in this great industry, which is construction, real estate, and development. And I'm joined by my colleague Jackson, who actually lives here in America. So welcome, Jackson.
Yeah, hey everyone, thanks for having me. So yeah, as you can see on the screen, my name's Jackson Row and I'm the North American market lead here at Mastt. So yeah, a bit of an ex-project manager myself, so from industry, and yeah, keen to see and show off to everyone today a few of the products that we've got in the works and talk about our vision moving forward.
Cool, thanks, Jackson. So we'll jump straight into it. We're making, for those who maybe were a bit, skeptical of this claim, maybe joining this webinar to kind of see how we're doing that. Even if it is maybe a bit ambitious that AI can replace 30% of work now, I think we can all agree that in this great industry of ours, things are just not as efficient as they could be. We face labor productivity challenges. We face digitization issues. And there's just insatiable demand for construction across the world because we still live on a world that has got a lot of poverty. And I'm sure if we could provide homes, equipment, manufacturing in cities for everybody around the world at lower costs and a lot faster, that would be a good thing. So I think AI is one of the best things ever to happen to the construction industry. And you're going to see some real examples of that today because people are evolving into this kind of hybrid AI plus human, and then executing work that is faster, significantly sharper, more predictive. And so for the customers who are using our beta products and are just using even some of the basic AI tools, they are making a big impact. And we're seeing, 10, even 20x times, improvement in the quality of the work and the output. So today, I want to go through why I think people are stuck on the wrong work and where AI can kind of unlock that. We're going to look at exactly where AI is already handling about 30% of that workload. We're going to do 3 live demos, which is super exciting. So I won't spend too much time going through the slides because we really want to get to the live demos and look at some cool stuff. And then at the very end, we'll wrap up with a bit of what the future looks like, maybe some of these new products that Mastt is working on with our customers. And all of that should probably take no longer than, I think, 30 minutes. There will be a recording that we'll send around after and a couple of polls that we're going to throw into the webinar as we go. And if anyone wants to send a message or ask a question, please do so in the chat and we will get to answering them at the end of this webinar. So let's just jump straight into it. I think we can all agree, and even when I think back to my days as a project manager, a lot of my work was in spreadsheets and documents. I studied engineering at university, and then when I joined as this place as an owner's representative, I won't say who I worked for, but this is a multinational consulting firm, multinational owner's rep firm, and I was basically just doing spreadsheets, cost reports, monthly reports, risk registers, and this was just basically my whole job. And so when I think about roles that are predominantly admin, project controls, project administrators, these jobs are going to evolve or have to evolve significantly out of admin and into more orchestration because they're doing admin, they're doing compliance, they're wrangling data, heavy duplication of effort. Not only do these jobs absolutely suck and people didn't study degrees to go and do these things. This is just, work that can be handled by AI. And so the real benefit here is not in the time savings, it's in the opportunity cost. What are we going to do with that time? Because there is a labor shortage, there is demand for the work and the services that we provide in construction. And if we can, get to that work and relieve ourselves of these burdens, I think there's going to be a huge productivity boost. So what does that look like? More time for clients, more time for building trust with stakeholders, better relationships. Stronger relationships means better projects. We all know that. Construction is a people sport. It also means that you have more time as leaders to mentor junior staff, bring them up to speed, educate them on next generation type activities that they're going to have to get used to doing as they move up the ladder. And of course, I'm sure we all want to spend time helping clients, even having the time to just sit down and work through options. How do I get this project to complete faster? How do I get this project under budget? How do I deliver more scope while the contractor's on site? These are all just things that nobody has time for, because we're all just running around, putting out fires all day long and wasting time in crazy spreadsheets and documents. So we're very motivated at Mastt to save a big chunk of this. We break the work up into kind of these 5 areas. So I think AI will have the biggest impact initially in the back office and in the early phases of construction, planning, design, pre-con. I don't think AI will have a huge impact just yet in the field work. I think that will be more impacted by robotics as we start to get 3, 4, 5 years down the line. But in these kind of first 4 categories, admin, doing calculations, learning stuff, and even this creative work thinking, this is where we think AI is going to have the biggest impact to begin with. So on a 3 horizon model, the here and now, you can use AI to do a lot of these things. I think in Horizon 2 will be more of the AI agent era, where people will start to delegate work. And then Horizon 3, I think, is some of the robotics, the Optimus robots that are actually doing work on site, painting and other things, the backbreaking work that we don't want to do. So a big opportunity for AI across the industry, but initially, I think in these kind of 4 areas and in the back office. So it's no doubt that everyone here knows what AI is, but just to kind of recap, it is absolutely everywhere. So I don't think this is a bubble. This is not going away. There is real value that is being delivered by AI right now, and it's being used on a daily basis to do some amazing things. And you're all probably seeing this in the news. There's always going to be some detractors. I've seen this talk about AI psychosis recently. I don't really know what that is, but I would always stay positive and encourage everybody to think that this is just such a great opportunity for the industry to move forward. And so I would say play with these tools, because if we can get more efficient, that means we can get more output. And I think with more output, that means we can take on more work. And even if we can just reduce the cost of construction by 10%, imagine how many projects come online with that, where the ROI just wasn't possible before. We can now actually construct those projects. So demand actually grows as AI creates more productivity in the industry. And so some of the ways you can get more productive, the basic things now, you can go and ask questions, help me do something. You can maybe, you can create an image. Interior designers now can create images of interiors that are furnished with plans really easily, just from a photo taken on their phone. Some cool ones with video. So Mastt, even us, have done a really cool AI video where it shows a new world, and previously this would have cost millions of dollars in production. You can just type in what you want, and you'll get currently an 8-second clip from Google Flow or one of these other video products that you can then stitch together to create production videos. So I would encourage you to explore these. Some of the more exciting kind of emergent AI use cases, which I don't think are kind of consumer ready at the moment. Chatting with AI and questions, images and video kind of are ready in the consumer space, but working with AI agents is still very difficult, and it requires a level of technical know-how to really get them in place. But you've probably heard the word agents. It is coming, and we'll probably do another webinar on that, because it is like a true human replacement for some tasks. So we'll keep going. Let's have a look at the claim. So AI is now capable of taking 30% of the workload. Let's unpick that a bit. This is based on research that Mastt has conducted as part of an AI survey. I've got the link at the top there for anyone who wants to check it out. But like I spoke about earlier, there's these kind of roles that exist for administrative purposes only. Project administrator, assistant project manager, project controllers. Significant portion of these jobs is just kicking around in spreadsheets and documents, double handling information from emails. And so there's a huge opportunity with AI just to apply it to data entry and uploading information. Using AI to extract data out of images. You can now read images and take numbers and dates and signatures out of those, which we'll show you a bit later on. And so it's really transforming what was previously a document that required a human to interpret in the workflow. Now that can be handed off to an AI tool. So that's super exciting, and it eliminates duplication of effort across systems. More advanced use case is actually doing review. So we're going to have a look at this a bit later on too. But because it has all of humanity's knowledge in it, when you take all of humanity's knowledge, give it some context, whether it's your project data or a contract or a jurisdiction you're working in, or even right down to a problem and getting really narrow, you can actually do reviews and compliance work. So we're going to have a look at how we review a pay app with AI a bit later in the demo. We're going to do it in real time, just to give you an idea of how that looks. And this just makes people, significantly smarter, also increases the quality and the protection of clients, and reduces potentially the cost of disputes, which is a huge burden on the industry and a multi-billion-dollar problem in basically every country. And the last thing where we're seeing, a solid amount, minimum hours and hours per week in just knowledge automation. So previously, young staff or people who were onboarding would go and ask a colleague, hey, remind me who this is, explain this document to me. That just doesn't need to happen anymore. AI can help with these things and allow you to get up to speed significantly faster, and also then create work, memos, letters, other instructions, or even surface, lessons learned that they can then take into a task or a workflow that they're doing right then and there without bothering anybody else. So 3 exciting areas that kind of add up to that 30%. We think we're undercooking it. We've even heard people spending, multiple days. These are major global consulting owners, rep and PM firms that are spending multiple days reviewing pay apps because of, how substantial the backup is. So huge opportunity to save even greater than 30%. And I'm really encouraging our team to do that. Go after these tasks, go after these roles, and liberate people from the drudgery. So let's see this for real. First demo we're going to do is data entry prefill. So I'm going to take a sanitized contract. I'm going to show you how we add that into our platform, Mastt. But this is something that you can take away and expect from other platforms that you might be using in the industry. So super cool and saves heaps of time. So we'll get to that. Second demo, we're going to do the pay app. So what does that actually look like? We've got the contract from demo 1. So then I've got a pay app. We're going to upload that and we're going to review it, see what's missing in the backup, and see what we need to do to get this pay app reviewed. And then with all that data, you only got the contract, you got the pay app. It's only natural that we might want to ask questions. So explain this to me. Why did you do that? And so this is a new product from Mastt that we're showing off for the first time here today. We're calling it a contract assistant, but it has scope for significantly more. So we're super excited to get Jackson to bring that up in demo 3. So I'm going to crack straight across to the system. Okay, cool. Okay. So, sorry, Jackson, did you say something?
No, keep going.
Okay, cool. So for those of you who might not know what Mastt is, think lighter, faster, PMIS, lighter, faster construction project management software used by owners, reps, DMs, PMs, program management. So I've only got a few projects here in this demo account. I've only got actually 3. And then I've got a program here, capital improvement program, which rolls up all of the projects into these portfolio views. So this is some of your traditional reporting, your executive dashboarding, your cost management at project and program level, time and risk. So this is all within kind of Mastt's foundational best practice tools. But today I'm going to jump into a really deep use case to begin with, which is this data upload for a contract. We're going to do that within project A. So inside this project, we land on Mastt AI, but I'm going to skip over that. This is for demo 3, and I'm going to go straight into the cost report, which is our financial management solution for budgeting, contracts, commitments, change orders, pay apps, cash flow forecasting. All of that lives in here, kills dozens, if not hundreds of spreadsheets. So there's plenty of this online, but we're going to add in a contract off the bat. So let's bring this up, and I'm going to show you the document before I do it. So here we go. This is a PDF, and this is just a sample kind of fake AIA contract. So it's got, the roles at the top, a few different articles in it, and then the schedule of values. So normal PDF. Doesn't matter if it's scanned or in PDF format like this, it will work. And I'm going to show you what I'm doing here. So I'm just going to drag this PDF straight onto the header there, the auto prefill. So with data entry, taking a PDF like that, Mastt takes the document, pushes it through a variety of our own internal AI work, and then converts whatever is inside that document with OCR into both images and text. So I'm totally hands off the keyboard here. Mastt is adding this data in and knows exactly what it's getting out of the document and putting it in all of the right spots. So it's about 85% complete now. I can see what it's doing on the right-hand side. It's just doing the final compliance checks, which is what we need for demo 2. But it's all done now, so I'm just going to minimize this, and we'll have a look at what it's done. So for those seeing Mastt for the first time, this is an add contract form. In the top left, I have the title of this contract. It's identified that this is an A133 standard, and it's put it under the construction budget. That's how smart it is. It knows this is a construction contract and has put it under the construction budget. At the bottom, we have all the schedule of values that have come out of the document and been added here into the form automatically. And it's pre-filled also the roles. So let's just check one together. So who is the owner? Cool. So the owner is Fairview Property. Representative is Joanne. And it has taken that from the document, added it into Mastt in about 30 seconds. Previously, people would have had to copy and paste this or type it in. Even worse, if it was a scan, like you have to read. Sometimes the scans are a bit janky and it's really difficult to actually read what's on. So this is just saving hours of time for people who might be uploading information like this into their cost reports on a daily basis. That time is now given back to them. Of course, doing this absolutely sucks anyway, so they don't want to do it, creates frustration. But they can now spend time doing more important things. So I'm just going to pause there for a minute and let you take that in. So just to recap, first demo is the data entry prefill, which we've kind of just looked at. It's quick, it's fast. It's meant to be a quick and fast demo. So you can take that away. But now we're going to move and build on what we've just done into doing the pay app review. So things are starting to get a bit more exciting. This is a deeper application of AI and certainly a more impressive application. And there's 2 parts to this. So I'll go back to the system just to build on what we were looking at earlier. And you're probably thinking, well, what is it reviewing the pay app against? How does it know what to check? So we have the contract. So I'm going to go to this AI compliance tab, and we're going to see what Mastt AI, which we've heavily put effort into to create a custom and unique application of AI specifically for pay apps in this instance. So this has reviewed the contract in its entirety, brought out the conditions precedent to payment, and because it knows where the project is, it also knows the jurisdictional requirements, the state's legislation that needs to be satisfied. So we've identified 13 pay app checks, 13 checks that are required with each application and certificate for payment. And to give you an example, let's have a look at a classic one like lien waivers. So 8, verify lien waivers from subcontractors and suppliers. And it has got this from Article 5 in the document. So let's have a look at the document. Article 1, Article 2, Article 3, Article 4, and Article 5. There we go, payments. So that's where it has pulled the check from. So I'd encourage everybody to have a play with this on Mastt, because you can upload complete AIA, I think up to 200 pages now. It might take a little bit of time processing that many pages, but upload whatever the nastiest agreement is, whether it's big or small, and then go in here and actually check how good Mastt AI is at identifying each payment review checks. The customers who are using this now have just been absolutely shocked. Normally people are doing this in their heads, or they create some little punch list before they review a pay app. So go in there, have a look, because I guarantee you're missing things and you're putting your clients and putting your projects at risk through not using an AI tool to just fully make sure that you are doing every check. So we've got our 13 checks. This is good. We'll add that in. I'll add one in before. So here we go. This is our contract. It's now added under the construction budget. Bring that out a little bit. There it is there, all the line items. And it's also added itself to the contract register. But let's move ahead now to payments. So let's click add payment. So let's imagine we've just received the pay app. So I'm going to bring up the pay app. Cool, classic, G702 style cover sheet with the continuation sheet, G703 after. I've got insurance attachment, and I've got a scanned lien waiver here with my pay app. So sometimes pay apps can be really long, images for stored materials, etc. But don't worry too much. Just drag it on, and we'll let Mastt AI do the checking. So with the contract uploaded, the 13 checks are locked in. So that will not change. So from this point on, the AI is doing two things. It's doing what we did before. It's reviewing the document. It's adding in the data right in front of my eyes with these purple lines, line by line, data entry, which is brilliant. And now if I look at the dialogue in the top right, it's moved on to the compliance processing. So it's going through the pay app, checking it against each of those 13 checks one by one to see if this pay app is compliant with the contract and is compliant with any other legal or jurisdictional requirements that might need to be satisfied by this contractor in that state or on that particular project. So it kind of takes about a minute and a half at the moment. We're probably going to move some of this stuff to background processing, because the documents and the different articles that get attached are quite big and quite long. But doing it here in real time, it's always nice to get a live demo and see how these things work. So it has actually filled out part of the form already. And I'm just going to go over to the AI review tab. So we've got no AI analysis yet appearing for the checks, but we'll give it a second to let it complete the review. And then we might actually check and see how good it is at what it's done. Okay, so we're all done here. Fantastic. Minute 41 seconds. Thank you, Mastt AI. And 14 checks we had, sorry. And I can see here, just to describe what we're looking at, this is the add payment form. You were looking at the line items and the schedule of values a moment ago. We're now in the AI review tab. Left-hand side, the checklist. This is what we generated earlier when we added in the contract. It was 14 checks under different sections of the contract and different categories. And there was number 8 we reviewed was for the lien waivers. So we're going to go down to 8 And we're going to have a look at what it has done for the lien waiver. The middle is a status column, which has a variety of statuses. So sometimes AI is not sure, and it might say needs review, or maybe it's just not applicable, like final payment. Maybe it's not applicable. Maybe it's missing or rejected. And then on the right, it's given us a really detailed reasoning for why it has given us this status. And then, of course, far right, a reference where it got it from. So let's go down. Oop, number 3, bit of a rejection there, Jackson, on your pay app. Sorry about that. So it needs to be submitted by the 5th of the month. It was not. And we'll keep going down to lien waivers. Oh, we've got another missing document here. So there was no sworn statement. Lien waivers accepted. Cool. So let's have a look at the analysis here. Lien waivers, were they provided? Pages 4 to 5 of the pay app contained a conditional waiver and release to the amount of $192,500. Let's have a look at the pay app. Let's go to lien waiver. There we go. Oh, yeah, 192,500 on the lien waiver. So this is just a cursory check just to validate that the AI has done the check for us. But this will have proceeded to do all 14 checks, and then in a human in the loop fashion, the project manager or the owner's rep can kind of go through this and see, what have I missed, and do a cursory overview of the pay app instantly, and then generate a reply if they need to. So massive time saver. We're talking about cutting down potentially hours and days a week reviewing a long, boring pay app, and now having that done in front of your eyes in seconds to do fast analysis, greater confidence for the businesses. And of course, this is just a level up in ability. An owner's rep said to us yesterday after he did this for the first time, he said, wow, I was thinking I was going to have to hire an assistant project manager or an assistant controller to work with me. And now with this tool, I don't need to hire that person because I can just do pay apps myself and review them instantly and add them into my cost report and have them connected to all of my dashboards and reports that we saw earlier in Mastt. So this is quite a game changer, end-to-end project controls to reporting, and a deep AI application. But what we're going to do right now is come out a little bit, and we're going to go a little bit higher. And as we move on to demo 3, so we're kind of going from demo 1, which was the data entry, kind of a more rudimentary use case, but still cool. Demo 2, very narrow application of AI, very pointed and shot directly at this pay app review problem. Then a lot of customers have been asking us, now that you've got all this information, how do I ask a question? I want to talk to it about the review. I want to ask more questions of what it has done while it's reviewing it. And maybe I want to review change orders and change requests and other things too. So that's led us to create a new product, which we're showing off for the first time today, Demo 3. And I'll hand over to Jackson to kind of take us through.
No worries. So I'm just going to share my screen now. And I hope that has come up for everyone.
Yep, come up. Cool.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so just sort of, a little continuation on what Doug said. So we're just following that bouncing ball down the line a little bit. And what people actually want to do is being able to actually interact with these, PDF documents, as well as, just other projects and documentation that is applicable. So this basically just led us to the genesis of this, and very hot off the press. So what we're sort of actually looking at here on the screen, we do have a chat style interface in the middle, similar to a lot of other AI tools out there, but we can also actually add our documents sort of securely within the Mastt app down below with this upload feature. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply just going to add in a sample doc, the one that we just worked through. And I'm now going to see on the right-hand side, I'll see a panel that actually shows that source document there. So Today, or this afternoon, just gonna work through just a couple of simple prompts, a bit of a workflow of how you could actually use this sort of as of this afternoon when you'd sign up. So first up, I'm just gonna say, bring me up to speed on this contract. So just a nice simple one to get things going. As you can see, you've already got a spelling error in it. So this is the type of thing that how often do people on a Friday afternoon get sort of thrown in a little bit of a deep end with someone going on leave on Monday and Tuesday, and they just need to be able to get up to speed for a meeting on Monday morning. And this is what we can do. So we can extract some of just the key points that are out of this contract, summarizes the key levels of detail. So yeah, we've got all the parties involved, the different amounts, timelines, etc., as well as just some of the key contractual information. The next thing that I want to share is just going a little bit deeper. And we've been on a little bit of a theme of pay apps today. And what I'm actually sort of entering in now is a prompt to actually grab out the specific payout clauses. So again, I'm sure sort of everyone on this call, you're not just on one or two projects, you're probably across half a dozen to a dozen. There's sort of no way that any human can sort of know everything back the front, as well as sort of all the legal jargon that's in there. Basically, this is that replacing that cumbersome Control F style of actions that you'd probably be undertaking today in PDF.
If you
So
can even control F, sometimes those documents we get given, Jackson, they're just scans of images and you have to
I,
actually read 200 pages.
I was about to say there was one that I was actually having trouble with not too long before this call because it was all with images. So yeah, fingers crossed that will not even fingers crossed. That'll now just all be taken away for you. So yeah, one of the key things again, the lien waivers. So I just want to share sort of my next prompt. It's okay, find out what a sort of a lien waiver is and how this would actually sort of be applicable to the particular state of the project. So this is a bit of our education learning sort of use case. So again, it's whether it's everyone sort of working remote or on site, you might, if you're a junior person, you might not have that senior person within arm's reach. So this is just that example of sort of having that assistant, I won't say in your pocket, but on your computer, because we're on the cloud, that you'll be able to address all your actual specific contract questions here and there, again, in that safe, secure environment. So it's always nice to be polite. So I'll just say thanks. And then let's see what it's thinking. It hopefully should just provide me with a nice response. Okay, it's gone ahead and freaked out a little bit, which that's all right.
Always
How
got to
the
have one mishap.
pressure of a live demo. But I want to take this a little bit further now and actually just show, yeah, sort of what it can do, sort of from again, that onboarding, education, just that elevating that, yeah, style of user. So I'm going to give an example where I'm going to ask it just to prepare a payout checklist for me, uh, just in accordance with, yeah, with the contract. So we're looking, this is the QA style of things. So we're looking to, yeah, amplify your business processes. It's been specific to the actual contract. It's not actually just generic. And then we've also heard, again, sort of pulling from what Doug may have hinted at, a lot of companies, a lot of people that we've been working with to pull these style of products together actually have sort of massive registers and back catalogs of these styles of documents, which again, they're not really user friendly to understand or obtain. So it's that quick extraction and bang, we've got our checklist.
So you can
So
really generate in context processes around a document or a contract or a file instantly.
yeah,
Hmm.
so just further on from that workflow, let's just imagine we're now getting into a little bit of an argument with our contractor. And apologies if we've got some GCs on the call. This is probably not a nice style of email you'd expect or like to get. But let's just say we're not happy with what we received. We can now, again, referencing, pulling the correct clauses and everything from the contract, it actually does your work sort of on your behalf. It drafts a nice, clean email, specifies specific items, includes your own details, and actually, yeah, undertakes just work on your behalf. It's sort of the click of a button, sort of no more double handling, duplicating things. It's all happening in one clean stream. let's just say things took a really bad turn for the worst, and we now need to actually terminate this contractor's agreement. So, yeah, hopefully something that you're not too familiar with. And for that particular reason, this is why we would, yeah, advise having an educational sort of, yeah, assistant tool like this to actually help. So this is sort of high risk, yeah, unwanted circumstantial work that might, yeah, you may be inexperienced in. So you sort of need it to get it right, just to make sure things are actually going in the direction that you want to do. So again, it's the key details, addressing the key parties, referencing specific terms, and just signing off nicely that you can actually, yeah, simply extract, whack in an email, and send off. The last style of sort of use case that I want to show is a bit of an intro to a scenario analysis. So, as with all things, especially when it comes to these style of terminations, you sort of want to have a clean path forward because you always want to have the best interest for your client at heart. So this is now sort of obviously acting on your team. It's going to be able to provide an analysis that you would often have, I mean, several key personnel present in a workshop just to actually not only define the different scenarios, but actually just be able to get to an appropriate decision and resolution. And what I've actually asked this one to do, a little bit different to our checklist style, our email, our letter style, asked to put it in a bit of a table. So again, a lot like some other tools, it has all this style of functionality all within your Mastt app.
So it's
Just
given
scrolling
us
down quickly.
four. So it's given us
Was that?
four possible outcomes to the termination here, and it's
Yeah.
run a scenario for each of those.
It's, yeah,
Very cool.
provide us with our most likely outcome, which will lead us to the concluding, concluding prompt that I'll provide it. Let's prepare this email as an advice and actually issue it to the project owner. So this sort of closes the loop on everything. Again, I don't want to say duplication, but we're taking away all that. And something that might actually have taken days for multiple people as well is actually now just happened in a matter of minutes. So yeah, this is something that we're super excited about, and yeah, can't wait for people to start putting their docs in and having a go with it all. So yeah, Doug, if there's nothing else to add, that probably wraps up the demo 3.
Very cool. Let me just return to sharing slides, and I'll kick over to the. Cool.
Yeah. So what we just saw, that was just a basic sort of introductory to the beta version of our contract assistant and what we actually offer. But where we're sort of going and what you can actually sort of do as of today, it actually just uploads any and takes in any PDF. So not just our contracts, not just change order items, etc., but you can put in schedules, you can put in tender proposals. What are some other things? Risk registers, and not only ask it to review and provide you general insights, but we're also actually starting to see people use it to actually critique these items as well, which goes into our next point of scenario analysis. And a couple of key things that we're hearing that we really want to be putting in the hands of you all as the users is sort of our forward cash flow projections, as well as actually sort of talking to schedules in that sort of right-hand paneling using native language, asking it to run case A against case B, and it just actually reveals the information and provides those insights right before your eyes. And the last one, again, the big value, it's just streamlining these onboarding and being able to sort of upskill staff. So in the industry, there's plenty of resourcing issues. We're in summer now, so people are dipping out on holidays all the time. So yeah, again, like I said, you don't want to be stuck at the 11th hour, need to deal with the meeting and not have any background when you've got an assistant like this, yeah, within arm's reach.
Absolutely. I mean, I would have loved an assistant like this when I first joined the industry. I didn't know, yeah, didn't know anything. So had to talk to people all the time if you wanted to learn something. So might have accelerated my personal and professional development. So, which is what's happening. So it is a scary time, but it's also, a really exciting time for all of the reasons that you've seen here today. But I do worry about, people who are not kind of adopting some of these tools. I do empathize with the job market. It is difficult at the moment to find jobs. And for those who are not AI native, that will be more challenging. But I don't think it's an issue for, finding roles. I think it's just expectations around roles, because if you don't know AI, you're not able to add as much value to that organization. But if you're a young AI native learner and you've come out of college and you know how to use these tools, you can add a tremendous amount of value to that organization who may not be as AI native as you. So this shift is already happening. We're seeing this across our customers around the world now. And the problem with, not reacting and not kind of trying to at least play a little bit or understand is you'll feel left behind, but you'll also just be stuck in that old world, and you're going to see people start to outpace you and do more work. And that might be frustrating personally, frustrating professionally, because you'll become a bottleneck for progress, and you'll have just lower opportunities for leadership. So if your ambitions are kind of in this direction, I would really be starting to take what you've learned from today and look ahead to the kind of new AI world. And I love the AI purple colors. I know it's a little cheesy, but it just is such a cool shades of blues and pinks, because you do feel this feeling of liberation when you have the success that you've seen here today with AI. You feel more confident. You feel good about yourself that you can produce such high quality work for your clients and deliver better outcomes for your project. So it makes you more impressive. You just feel better, like a Superman, with some of the tools that you're using. And that confidence is just emanating onto your team and onto your clients, and makes you the kind of top pick for leadership and, climbing that organizational ladder. So on top of all of these things, you're just faster, you're forward thinking, and this is a 10x human being here. And it does change the calendar big time. So when you look at the current day in the life of the old world project manager, they come to work. First thing you all probably do is, like me, open your emails. And you start triaging emails around, maybe then update some spreadsheets, do some work, have a short lunch if you're not allowed to take very long. This is kind of how much time is left over for proactive value-added work. It's not much at the bottom. And this is just an example. So if you take all of that away, you give time back to the project manager, the liberated staff member actually has a tremendous amount of time to be focusing on those high value, big money decisions throughout the whole day. And you're not doing this rudimentary, boring work anymore. You'll still probably have emails to check. I don't see email going away in Horizon 1 or Horizon 2, but it will be shorter, sharper. You'll have AI agents that will be reporting to you on tasks they've been completing in the background overnight, and that will allow you to focus on these big yellow chunks of high value work. So it is changing. It's changing now, and people are stepping into leadership, becoming faster, sharper, and more impactful, and their workday is changing. And it looks like a bit of a conductor. So I don't see role replacement happening in the industry. I see roles changing to be orchestration. You still need the smarts and all that experience you have in construction as a scheduler, as a controller. All of that is still immensely valuable, because you need to be delegating to AI. It's a big flip. It's not that AI is making your work better. It's the other way around. You need to be making the AI's work better. And that's a shift that people are starting to make. You should be checking the AI's work. Your AI is not making your work better. So step into that delegation mode, and you'll see a huge performance increase. People are working with AI on all tasks. So not only are they delegating work to AI, they're sitting down with AI, like Jackson showed in demo 3, and working through a scenario, working through a problem, almost in that kind of vibe manner that people are talking about with AI. And they're doing that in pursuit of outcomes and in pursuit of the best possible scenario for their project or solution to their problem. And you can do this with the clients too. So these tools will be coming into, people take Mastt AI and they just take it straight into a meeting and they just answer these questions on the fly with the client. And the last part of this 10x impact is more time for people time. Being able to go to that lunch with the client, spend time with colleagues, spend time with friends, build trust, build rapport, do business development, and also work on yourself. You can't show up ready for your team, for your clients, if you're not working on yourself. And so I think there'll be more of a reintroduction of this kind of human element into the lives of people in this industry, as opposed to kind of the current world, which is high stress, reactivity, burnout, too many hours. So there will be a reinvestment of time into that people side in the industry. So as we draw to a bit of a close, so what's coming next for Mastt? We've gone a little bit over. So AI Contract Assistant, this is where we're taking that module that Jackson would show you today. We're going to be able to add more documents, review change requests, create more letters, memos, and just become like this ultimate AI agent alongside your work. And that brings us to the exciting part. We think we're going to take actions out of the SaaS app layer and move to the inbox layer. Why do you have to go to Mastt to do that? Why can't you just forward the pay app or forward the contract to an email, agent@mastt.com, who will then do it for you without you even having to go into the app? So as people build more trust with these AI tools, they'll start to delegate them, and they can run in the background, so you don't have to perform that action yourself. Now, everything you've seen here today is free for 2 weeks. So you can go online, sign up for Mastt right now, and you will see exactly what we showed you on this call. So go sign up, give it a rip. And I'm just going to leave you with a quote, because in my view, I think the best leaders will not be replaced by AI. They will be just amplified, 10x or 100x by it. So it's a super exciting time to be alive, and for those who are adopting these new tools. And so I'd encourage all of you just to dip in to Mastt, have a bit of a play, and hopefully this webinar has been informative and productive for you. So there'll be a bit of a questionnaire that will come out after this. But for Jackson and I, that brings us to the end of the webinar. Sorry for going a little bit over. But yeah, thanks so much for your time, everybody. We're super pumped about this industry. Love AI, and we're going to be bringing a lot more of it to you. So have a fantastic day all. Talk to you soon.
Thanks very much.